Welcome back to the AEC video series. In this video series, we're still covering micro integrations, and we're going to cover the HTML Invoice Mailout. If you watched the previous videos on AEC settings, we had a video on the tab Invoice Customization, where you could customize the invoice itself for a person to see and print out when they log into the front end of the site. Some people would rather have it mailed to the member rather than having them log in to get the invoice. And that can be done using the HTML Mailout micro integration. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Micro Integrators from AEC Central, and we're actually going to hit New. And then we will actually highlight AEC HTML Mailout. We hit Apply. We can give it a different name if we want to. Email invoice to member. And regular action, leave it yes. Expiration action, you can also leave it yes. And update account information, you can leave it yes. Because this is only triggered basically when an invoice is generated. So we'll hit apply. Then under the settings, you want to make sure under the sender email that you put in the email address that you're using on your website, and is the same with the email MI. It's important on a lot of hosting providers that this match the URL of your site, otherwise they'll think that you're spam. And then for recipients, we're going to do the same thing we did in the email MI. We're going to go to user account related, get the variable for the user email address, copy it and paste it in here. Make sure there's no space after it. And then we can also add different recipients and multiple separating by comma. Make sure there's no spaces after or before the email addresses, because it will literally put a space in and you'll get it back that they didn't receive it. You can put a subject in, and you should, your invoice. And then you can also add in custom CSS if you want to change the coloring and so forth of it. Now we'll hit apply. So basically now we've just generically set it up to mail a copy of the invoice that's already set up in the system to the user. We can modify the invoice if we want to, and these are basically the same fields that we had in the previous video that we watched on AEC Settings Invoice Customization tab. So you can go ahead and watch that one and get an idea of what each one of these fields do. But in each one of the fields, you have an option of none, leave the original text as it was. Before, place the text in the editor below here before the text. If you enter in text here, you can also tell to enter it after. You can tell it to replace the original text or delete the original text that was in there and then just put in what's in here. But you can actually go in and modify the invoice if you want. But usually most people will just get the invoice exactly the way that they wanted it back here in the invoice customization under settings, and then use the MI just to mail out that invoice itself. So once this is all done, then you just hit save. And then you make sure that you actually attach it to the plan that you want. And the way we'll do that is you go to Payment Plans, go to Plans. Let's say we want it on the Premium Membership. We want to mail them out the invoice. So we'll click on the Micro Integration tab, and we'll tell it, hey, email this invoice to the user. This way, AEC knows to trigger this micro integration on this plan. And then we save. Thank you very much.